Well, hello there. Um, we're going to do something different today. We're going to create an ethical hacking server for you to play with. Um, so let's launch an instance to get started. Um, and we're going to make sure it's Linux just because most of the tools we're going to be using are in Linux. So we're going to call this ethical hacking. We can do Amazon Linux, that's fine. Amazon Linux is very close to Red Hat. It doesn't need to be big either, so we're going to stay with T2 Micro. I'm going to use my personal key, and that's probably good. The only thing I can think about here is it's going to be cracking passwords with only one CPU and not a GPU. This is not going to be great, but that's okay. We'll just play a little bit. So it launched. You know what? I am going to as well give it an elastic IP, just so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to allocate an elastic IP from Amazon's pool. Sorry, there we go. My mic is in the way of seeing my screen a little bit, but so I've got an elastic IP address that's allocated. So I can associate it, and I'm going to associate it with that instance and ethical hacking, associate. So that way it's always going to stay that IP address, which I could then give that IP address a host name by putting an A record in my DNS. If you don't know how to do that, I won't be covering that here. I'm working, I could do that in Route 53, but not in this because I'm in a learner lab. Which is used for learning in high school or at a college, and it's something that is not allowed for you to play with. So I can't create a hosted zone in Route 53 in a learner lab. So I'll have to play with this more, see if they will allow us, but I'm pretty sure they don't still. So anyway, EC2. Let's come back to my EC2. So I should have two running, because I have one that I use for general Linux, and now we'll have an ethical hacking one. And I've waited long enough. That should be working. So let's just get this nice and big, so you can see commands that I run. So EC2-user, since we used Amazon Linux, in the IP address. I'm using my key, so I don't have to use the -i to point it to an identity file. And this is the first time I've seen this box. So it's going to say, are you sure? Yes, that's good. So it's added. By the way, there are packages available. I'm going to update it, sudo yum-y update. That just says run the updates. Don't ask me, just say yes and update. So I'm going to run those updates. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to install metasploit. So this is something that our friends at Rapid7, they're great penetration testers. If you need to do some penetration testing, I strongly suggest, in fact, let's just find them. And I'll include that, Rapid7 penetration testing. So these people are great. They're pretty top notch in the field. There are some others that are good as well, but Rapid7 is awesome, and they help with Metasploit. So we're just going to run this curl command. If you see, it's GitHub. It's Rapid7 Metasploit master config. So we're and then it's going to run bring it down to mf install. It's going to change it to be executable and it's going to run it. So one command pulls it down, changes it to executable, and runs it all in one line. By the way, the first time I saw this is because a hacker had taken over our system, and this is how they grabbed their tools to do more on the system. One reason why I strongly encourage businesses to not allow servers to get out to the outside world. There's no reason your server should be able to shop on Amazon, for example. So we're just getting metasploit. Once again, changing what we've created to be an executable and running it, which I don't think it actually did do that. Installing, yep. So it did give a warning. Wait, no, that was... Nope, yep. So we got metasploit framework installed, installing one package complete. Sweet. I'm just going to run that update again just to make sure that I'm all up to date, and I am. Now, if I'm going to be playing with hacking, I definitely want a firewall in this box. So I'm just going to install firewalld. Firewalld is a great firewall to run on most Red Hat-ish type systems. And since Amazon Linux is Red Hat, that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to enable it so it will auto boot. And then let's reboot. Cool. So this is going to take just a little bit to reboot. I would install SE Linux as well, but I'm pretty sure I'll run into problems there with Metasploit and SE Linux. So I'm not going to do that on my hacking box. Okay. It might take a minute or two to reboot. And then we're going to look at the state of the firewall. I usually Control C after a little while because I've noticed that sometimes it kind of gets stuck there. But eventually it's going to tell me that either host unreachable or I get in. And if it says host unreachable, the next time I'll get in. So let me just clear my screen. So far we have a new system. We've given it an IP address. We've installed Metasploit. We've installed firewalld. We should install Apache as well. We should install Apache. That would be good. I like to install Apache because then I have a way to easily host things that I create with Metasploit. So this is taking its sweet time. You know what? This happened last time too. I did this. So one thing that you can do is you can come here, Actions, Monitor and Troubleshoot, and you can get system log. And it says it's restarting, but it's not. I don't know why. This is the second time that's happened to me when I'm doing something similar. So I'm just going to come back to this system. I'm going to say instant state reboot instance. Reboot, Actions, Monitor and Troubleshoot, get system log, refresh. So we're going to come back and we're going to force terminate it. Stop instance, sorry. We're going to stop it. Instant state, force stop instance, stop. So now if we look, it says it's stopping still. Actions. Monitor, troubleshoot, get system log. Yeah, it still thinks it's rebooting. They usually do not take this long. It's funny, every time I've installed Metasploit though, it has. This is only the second time recently. I'm wondering if that triggers something on Amazon's side. It's just I'm having a hard time getting it actually to stop. So could be the firewall too, but I doubt it. I'm wondering what is triggering an issue like this. Anyway, it is just not stopping. I'm going to pause the video for a sec. Happy day. It finally stopped. Okay, so instance state, start instance. So it's starting. This will take just a little bit. So hopefully not much more than a few seconds is what this usually takes. Faster than the reboot. Just needs to start up enough that it can do its networking. And with the connection refused, that means it's to a certain boot part and it's going to be done. Awesome. Sweet. Okay, so we're back in. So we've installed Metasploit. We've installed firewalld. Let's install Apache. So sudo yum-y install httpd. Sweet. So now we have Apache, but let's enable it. So it starts on reboot, and then we want to start it. Oh, sorry. Enable. I need to start it. Sudo systemctl start httpd.service. Keep forgetting to. Okay, so now if I do netstat -tnlp, I'll see. Let's do sudo. Right here, httpd is listing on port 20. So, but I do need to add it to the firewall. So sudo let's just do first firewall-cmd --list-all. So you can see what's there. And I only have SSH and DHCP client. So I need to fix that. So let's add that. Sudo firewall command zone public add service HTTP. While I'm at it, I'm going to add HTTPS. Not for why you think, but that's okay. So I've got those two added. But I need to add them as well in my security group. So coming here, security group. So edit inbound rules, add rule, HTTPD, HTTP from anywhere, add rule HTTPS from anywhere. Save rules. By the way, the outbound rules, this is where you could limit what you can get out to. And right now it allows everything. So this is just something I would strongly urge most organizations to not do that, not allow this. I'm still setting this up, so we're going to allow it for now. But this just makes it so much easier to be hacked. Okay, so let's come back to here. So cool, we have those. Let's create a quick web page. So I have something, to do this we need to be root. It's one of those lame things, but vi var www html, and let's do index.html. I have one I can just paste here. And let's save and quit. So I should be able to see that now. So if I come here, and I need to remember my IP address. So let me come back to EC2 dashboard, instances running. This should be, that IP. So if I put this IP in, ethical hacking, the class, sweet. So I have a nice little web page there. I can add stuff to as I want to, but just realizing that anything I now put in this index.html can be accessed by people on the web. Okay, and because of that, I am able to create a way to control other systems from here. So let's do that. So let's see. Make sure I haven't missed anything yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is let me create. Let's create a way to control a Windows box. So that is with MSF Venom, and I am root. So cool. MSF Venom, and we're going to do Windows. You know what? And I'm not going to explain what this is doing. You can look up Uncle Google to learn. There's so much you can do, but we're going to do a reverse TCP. And this is, I'm pretty sure, not encrypted. So this is going to be caught by a lot of firewalls. L host equals that IP address, paste. And we're going to do L port equals 443, because I opened up 443. Which I'll list that again in a sec. Dash file, we're going to make an executable file, and let's send it to var www html, and let's call this one windows.exe. So this is creating a virus for Windows that you can use to remote control it. So backdoor. You'll have the ability to just run commands on it. So MSF Venom is something that we did that's part of the metasploit that we installed. Cool. So now what we need to do is we need to be able to accept that reverse shell, because if someone runs this, we'll get a reverse shell. So let's do that next. So how we do that is we're going to use. Do we need to install this? I'm trying to remember. I think we do. So I'm root. I don't like doing this as root, but we'll do it as root. I thought we already did MSF install. So as root, because I want this on port 443, so I'm going to have to do this as root. So I want to do MSF console. to get into the console of the metasploit framework. And it's going to start. While that's starting, I need to find some notes really quick. Yeah, let me look. Make sure I can remember this. So we've done, so MSF and we've done. So now we're in Metasploit. Awesome. So we're going to use the exploit, and we're going to use a multi-handler so that we can accept multiple requests from this virus that we just created. Now, we haven't sent it to anyone, but this is a way of remotely controlling systems. And we're going to set the L host. So this is the listening host, and I'm going to do it to 0.0.0.0, which says listen on all my network cards. That way, I don't even have to worry about what my IP is. Okay, just setting it to 0. And then the exploit dash. You know what? Let's see if I just say no. Yeah, I'm going to control C that. So exploit, and for some reason my notes are J and Z. So, and now we're listening, and it's going to wait for something to connect to us. I'm not going to take you through that steps, but if we remember here, what we called it is windows.exe. So if I took this right here and pasted it in windows.exe, it's going to pull down, which, by the way, if you look here, then my network's blocking it because it knows it's the virus. There's some things that you can do to mask that, morph it so that it's not noticeable. But right now, antivirus is going to catch it. A lot of networks are going to catch it. It's just not even going to be allowed, which makes it a pain. Let's try this. Just for kicks, let's try wget paste, and we want windows.exe, right? Is that what we call it? Yep. So if you see, I've got it. So I use wget. You can also use curl, because curl will work on windows.exe. But you need to give it to a dash O for output, windows2.exe. Curl failed. Anyway, that could be the network blocking it. It could be I did something wrong. Anyway, but we can see we can get the virus. If I was running Windows, I could execute this. I'd have to turn off my antivirus because I have not hidden it. But this is a good way to get a hacking server up for ethical hacking. Make sure you only do this for learning or if you've been given permission. And I hope you've enjoyed this. So I will list some of the commands. So I'm going to control C out of this. Exit. And I'll do history as root. History is root. And exit and history as EC2 user, and I'll list all this in the bottom of the video as well as the stuff to Rapid 7. Some of my other notes or things I've collected over time, and I'm not going to be able to grab the actual references of where I found the commands. So anyway, have a good one. See you in the next video.